What's going on, guys? Jason here back to my channel, and tonight I'll be doing a review for Monday Night Raw, which was the last night, which is Monday, and now it's Tuesday, and so yeah, here we go. We get to the now forever intro and Michael and welcomes us to the show and all that stuff, and so we get to the first match of the evening, the New Day main event: Jey Uso versus Imperium and Gunther. So yeah, this is the first match of the show. As we settle inside the arena, Pat McAfee joins Cole on commentary to continue to open for the show. The theme for the New Day hits, and out comes fan favorite duo Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods for our first match of the evening. They settle into the ring, and then entrance tune for main event Jey Uso hits, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers. After the babyface trio settle in the ring, the theme for the Imperium hits. Out comes the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time, Gunther, accompanied by Louis Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. The bell sounds for this one, kicking things off for their respective teams are Kofi Kingston and Louis Kaiser. After some initial back and forth action, we see the heel Imperium trio take over with Gunther flattening the up the opposition on the floor ringside as we head to a managed commercial break. When we return, we see main event Jey Uso hitting a back suplex for Kaiser to slow down Imperium momentum. He eventually makes his way over to tag in Xavier Woods. Giovanni Vinci tags in for Imperium. Woods runs over Vinci and tags in Kingston, who hits a fame and then comes off the top rope with the crossbody splash to the back of Vinci for a close 2 count. Kingston hits the boom drop, and the crowd comes to life in the background with New Day Rocks chants. After Kaiser provides some assistance from the floor, we see Vinci shift the offensive momentum back in the favor of the Imperium threesome. Gunther tags in as the legal man in the ring and goes to work on an already softened up Kingston. We see Uso slap Gunther and enrage him as we head to a second mid-match commercial break timeout. When we return, we see Kingston getting beat down. The commentators inform us he has been throughout the break. Jey Uso finally tags in, and the crowd yells "Yeet" on every move he connects with. Gunther takes over on Uso and slows down his momentum. After stuffing a spear attempt, he decks him and heads to the top rope where he mocks his entrance crowd wave motion before leaping off for a splash. Unfortunately for him, Uso got the knees and Gunther had a rough landing. Uso takes over again and then gets help somehow from the New Day, and 3 hit a triple team spot connecting with 1D. Kingston hits a diving splash out onto Kaiser, and on the floor, back in the ring, Uso hits the main event splash off the top rope on Vinci for the pinfall victory. So yeah, the New Day and main event Jey Uso won the match. Alright, the second match, men's elimination chamber qualifying match: Bobby Lashley versus Big Bronson Reed. After the match, we shoot to ringside where Pat McAfee and Matt Cole tout the WrestleMania 40 kickoff press event, drawing 200 plus million viewers in just 72 hours. We then see a lengthy recap package from the event. When we return live, the theme for the Almighty hits, and out comes Bobby Lashley, accompanied by B-Fab and the Street Profits. He heads to the ring of our first Elimination Chamber qualifying match of the evening. As he sells in the ring, we head to a quick commercial break. As we settle back in from the break, we see a vignette from returning Andrade, who mentions having to leave to remember who he is, and now that he's back, he says the direction is clear. When that wraps up, we return inside the arena where Big Bronson Reed makes his way out. The bell sounds and the two boys lock up. Reed backs Lashley into the corner and chops him, and then pounds on him with big forearms. He backs up and charges forward with a big splash in the corner. He scoops Lashley up but Lashley escapes out the back door and tries to slap on the hurt lock. Reed avoids it and backs Lashley into the corner, splashing him. And there, Lashley charges at Reed with a big clothesline that connects, but Reed barely budges after coming off the ropes with momentum a second time. Lashley finally knocks Reed off his feet. He goes for a third time, but Reed moves and Lashley spears the ring post and crashes onto the floor. Reed hops off the ring apron and blasts into Lashley, who crashes into the timekeeper area. We head to a mid-match commercial break on that note. When we return, we see Lashley fighting into his first prolonged run of offensive dominance in the bout. The fans chant "Bobby, Bobby" as he goes to work on Big Bronson in the corner of the ring. After some more back and forth, Lashley hits a spear and gets a 3 count with the win. Lashley qualifies for the men's elimination chamber match. So yeah, Bobby Lashley will go to the men's elimination chamber. Alright, after we see highlights of what happened on last week's episode of WWE SmackDown, where Sami Zayn came up short in his attempt to qualify for the men's elimination chamber match. When that wraps up, we shoot to an earlier today empty arena interview Jackie Redmond did with Sami Zayn. Zayn talks about coming up short on Friday, and then talks about his main event showdown later tonight against the King of Strong Style Shinsuke Nakamura. He talks about the belief he has had in himself. He says he still believes he'll still be a contender and a champion. He makes a promise that it will happen. As the two continue to talk in the empty arena, they are caught up by Shinsuke Nakamura, who appears on the big screen during their empty arena discussion. Nakamura talks about Zayn wanting people's sympathy, just like Cody Rhodes. He says he won't tolerate him being anything but real tonight in the ring. He vows to take his soul and continue forward on his path. That wraps up that segment, and then we hear Cole and McAfee plug tonight's main event between Zayn and Nakamura as the official match graphic flashes on the screen. We then see Cody Rhodes walking the hallways backstage as we head into another commercial break. Alright, this is the promo thing with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Talk about The Rock and all that stuff. So, I think this is it. So yeah, I think sorry. When we return from the break, Michael and Pat McAfee will run down some of the media coverage of the explosive WrestleMania 40 kickoff press event, and once again touted drawing over 200 plus million views on social media in just 72 hours. When we re-enter Arena Live, the theme for Cody says, "So yeah, this is it." Out comes the American Nightmare in the suit for our next segment of the evening. He asks Langston what we want to talk about, and then it brings up the WrestleMania 40 press event. He mentions the 3 words that changed everything, and fans chant that we want Cody. He says he's almost getting emotional and says he better be careful or he might become Cody Crybaby. The fans boo and start chanting, "Rocky sucks." Cody then shows a clip of The Rock mocking the Cody Crybabies on the Pat McAfee show, and then turns his attention to McAfee at rings that he has, where The Rock said to put the nuggets. McAfee reluctantly gestures that he said to shove them up his ass. Cody then turns his attention to the camera. Cody mentions how The Rock puts his hands on him and how he's going on him, how and now he's got to put his hands on him. The theme for Seth freaking Rollins hits, and now comes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Cody. Thanks him for standing up for him at the kickoff event. Seth says, "You're welcome." He then encourages Cody to finish his story at WrestleMania like he set out to do. Seth talks about how Roman Reigns screwed him out of finishing his story and taking the Universal title off of him, giving it back to the people last year. He has what his plan is, because now not only does he have Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso to worry about, but he's got the biggest entertainer and star in the world to deal with. The fans chant Rocky sucks, Rocky sucks. Seth tells Cody he does not have to fight this battle alone. He mentions now he is partially responsible for Reigns becoming the monster he is, bringing up how he taught him everything he knew during their days as the Shield. He then tells Cody there is only one man fit to be a Shield for Cody, and that's a guy who used to be called an architect, but is now known as visionary and revolutionary. His theme hits and he walks off. Alright, Kathy Kelly is backstage with main event Jey Uso and the New Day, who are pumped up after their victory in the opening match of tonight's show against Gunther and Imperium. Kelly informs Uso that he will be challenging Gunther for the Intercontinental title next week on Raw. Alright, next match is the Women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark. Back inside the arena, the theme for Liv Morgan hits, and out she comes to begin her Liv Morgan Revenge Tour and her Women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match opportunity against Zoe Stark. As she settles in the ring, we head to a quick pre-match commercial break. When we return from the break, we hear pre-match comments from Stark and Morgan about why they are going to win tonight. After that, we return in the arena where Zoe Stark makes her way out. The bell sounds official in this one. Stark takes the early lead, and we head to a mid-match commercial break again. As we sub back in, we see Stark still taking it to Morgan. The crowd rallies behind Morgan. The former women's champion fights her way back into the offensive driver's seat, where she ultimately hits her finisher for the pinfall victory with the win. She qualifies for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Alright, so Liv Morgan won. Alright, next one is JD McDonough versus R-Truth. Backstage, we see the Judgment Day walking when R-Truth comes up with his Judgment custom t-shirts over his shoulder. In a jolly old mood, he and JD McDonough have words. Damian Priest steps up and harshly explains to Truth that although they had some laughs, he isn't and has never been part of this Judgment Day. He tells him tonight is a massacre, and asks if he can get that through his head. He and the Judgment Day walk off as Truth looks at it inside the arena. The Judgment Day theme hits, and out comes McDonough for our next match of the evening. As he sells in the ring, we head to a quick pre-match commercial break. When we return from the break, we see Truth freaking out on the phone backstage, trying to get a hold of someone to come to the arena to help him. He says the Judgment Day are going to kill him. Adam Pearce comes in, and Truth freaks out to him until Pearce pushes him through the curtain and says he's on now. Truth heads to the ring, and the bell sounds to get this one. We see McDonough jump into the early offensive lead as things start to pick up a bit. We shift gears and head to mid-match commercial break as the match continues. We return from the break and learn from Malcolm and McAfee on commentary that Dominic Mysterio stole the phone that Truth left at ringside. The one he was waiting for a call back from the Miz on regarding whether or not he was going to make it to the arena to help him out. R-Truth starts to take over on offensive in the ring, and even does the trademark John Cena 5-knuckle shovel spots, complete with the "You Can't See Me" gesture, which the fans in Lexington do along with him. After a distraction from Damian Priest on the apron, McDonough starts to take back over. He hits his finisher for the win. After the match, we see Judgment Day surround Truth. Truth starts swinging before they attack him, and actually takes all of them out except Damian Priest. Priest looks at him, and then McDonough goes to attack Truth from behind. Truth drops him, but then turns around into a knockout shot from Priest. The Judgment Day stomp him out until a DIY run out with chairs to chase him away. Alright, we shoot backstage where we see Sami Zayn taping up his wrist for his scheduled showdown against Shinsuke Nakamura later in tonight's show. Walks Cody Rhodes, who tells him that he believes in him, and hold on. It says tells him that he believes in him, and he said earlier tonight he says they do as well, referring to the fans. They hug, and we head to another commercial break. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of paused because the stupid ad thing moved the what I was reading down. Um, so yeah. All right. As we sail back in from the break, the theme for Becky Lynch's um theme hits, and out comes the man. She sees a sign in the crowd asking her to go to prom with him in 2034 or something way in the future. That's another 10 years. She mentions it, and it says it's a date. She then talks about how Rhea Ripley um, had been a dominant champion and no one can beat her. She then asks for a drink and makes a toast to the journey we're about to go on heading into WrestleMania 40. Nothing is gonna be well. Lynch goes to continue talking about the theme for, but the theme for now, Jax interrupts her. Jax out. Jax comes out to a ton of boos and says she knows they had their differences, but there's something she wants to say to her. She gets in the ring, tells Vicky she has so much respect for her. She Jax pretends to fight back tears while telling Lynch that no one can beat her because of how good of a mother she is. She said she knows she's gonna win at the chamber. She's just like she's gonna be Rhea Ripley to become the WWE Women's World Champion. Of that now, Rhea Ripley's theme hits, and out comes Mommy to the ring. The fans chant "Mommy, Mommy" as she goes right after Jax. Jax ends up fighting back and taking over, splashing onto Lynch and Ripley in the corner. Lynch fights back, as does Ripley. And two knock Jax out of the ring. They stare at each other down until Ripley sees Jax coming. She blasts her with a big boot to knock her back to the floor. She yells, "You're gonna have to kill me," and then turns and stares at Lynch to end the segment. Alright, backstage, Drew McIntyre's interview is mentioned that he'll be going one-on-one against Cody Rhodes on next week's show. He gives Cody a warning that he might not make it to WrestleMania 40. So yeah, Drew McIntyre vs. Cody Rhodes is next week. Alright, next is the Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. LA Knight vs. Ivar. Back inside the arena, the familiar sound of LA Knight's theme hits, and out comes the megastar for our third and final Elimination Chamber qualifying match for this week's. As he sails in the ring, we head to a quick pre-match commercial break. When we return, Ivar's theme hits, and he comes accompanied by Valhalla. Michael Cole rants for a minute or two about Valhalla not wearing her trademark antlers for this important match. Ivar is about to have. The bell sounds. We're officially on this one. Pat McAfee comes to life, and this one yelling, "Yeah!" just as many annoying times as he and his crew to do the "what" routine from Stone Cold Steve Austin's pads on his Pat McAfee show every time Knight does anything. Whatever, he's not annoying. Shut the fuck up. Ivar takes over as the action spills out to the floor, and with him standing all over and being down Knight. As ringside, we head to a mid-match commercial break with this high-stakes singles showdown still in progress. As we return from the break, we see Knight hit a big suplex on Ivar, the top rope for a super close near fall attempt. Ivar fights back and hits double underhook powerbomb into a pin attempt for a close 2 count of his own. Valhalla freaks out that it's not over. Knight moves when Ivar charges at him in the corner. Ivar hurts his knee in the process, and Knight capitalizes, taking over on offense and shifting the momentum back in his favor as the crowd comes to life in the background in the Rupp Arena. Valhalla hops on the ring apron to distract Knight, which allows Ivar to catch him. Turning around with the big spin kick. Ivar heads to the top row to follow up. He goes for a big moonsault, but Knight gets out of the way, and the big man crashes and burns. Knight follows up with the BFT for the win. So yeah, LA Knight is the winner to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. All right, main event time is Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Main event time. We shoot backstage and see Sami Zayn in his ring gear walking the hallways as he's up next in our main event leading against Shinsuke Nakamura. As he continues to walk, he's stopped by Drew McIntyre, who delivers a strong message to him before Zayn simply responds, "You're in my way." As Zayn walks past McIntyre and gets ready to head out to the ring, we cut to another quick pre-match commercial break. When we return, we see Ampere's talking to Indy Hartwell and Candice when it comes Chelsea Green asking if she's in the last chance battle royal for a spot in the women's chamber match next week. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark walk in and also want a spot in the last chance battle royal for next week's show. After this wraps up, my co Pat McAfee run down the update lineup for next week's WWE Elimination Chamber Perth Go Home episode of Raw from Anaheim, California. Now the theme for Shinsuke Nakamura hits, and as the Rock violins play, out comes the King of Strong Style for our final match of the evening. The bell sounds. We're official on this one. After some early back and forth action, we see Zayn standing tall in the ring while Nakamura is down on the floor. On that note, we shift gears and head to a big match commercial break as our main event continues. When we return, Zayn is working over Nakamura in the ring. McAfee says during the break that they were beating the hell out of each other. Nakamura starts to fight back and take over in the ring. The King of Strong Style punishes Zayn for a couple of minutes, but then the crowd rallies behind the Montreal native, who takes back over and on offense. He knocks Nakamura onto the floor. He hits the ropes to build up a full head of steam, and then hits a running flip over the top rope until a splash on Nakamura on the floor. After that, we head to our second mid-match commercial break of the match. We return for our third match segment of the main event for this week's Raw. We see the crowd coming to life as Zayn fights back after they being blasted with repeated kicks by Nakamura. Cole points out Nakamura beat Zayn down on the floor the entire time. Nakamura sets Zayn up for the Sasha, but Zayn sees it coming and counters. It counters into a blue thunder bomb for a clothespin attempt. On the Japanese legend, Zayn sets Nakamura for the Helluva kick, but Nakamura sees it coming and slides under the bottom rope. 2-4. Zayn tries diving through the bottom rope around the post onto Nakamura on the floor, but Nakamura sends him into the post, back in the ring. Nakamura blasts Zayn with a knee to the back of the neck for a close pin attempt. Nakamura comes off the ropes with another double knees to the back of Zayn's head/neck. He goes for the cover, but Zayn kicks out. Shinsuke goes to pick up Zayn, but he collapses right back down the mat. Nakamura goes for another move, but Zayn sees it coming and blasts Nakamura with a super kick. This brings Zayn back to life as Ole Ole chants break out from the Lexington crowd. Zayn unloads on Nakamura in the corner, and he then hits an exploder on Nakamura in the corner. Sammy backs up to the opposing corner and gets ready for his Helluva kick until he spots Drew McIntyre running down to the ring from the back. He turns and stops McIntyre from getting physically involved, but the mere distraction causes Zayn to turn around and into a Kinshasa from Nakamura, who pins him for the victory. So yeah, winner is Shinsuke Nakamura. Once the match wraps up, McIntyre gets in the ring and along with Nakamura, puts the boots to an already beaten down and out Zayn. This continues until Cody Rhodes' theme hits. The American Irish sprints down to the ring into a huge pop and takes out Nakamura and McIntyre with crossroads and disaster kicks. They retreat to the back and Cody stares them down from the ring. As Cole promotes Cody versus Drew for next week's. So yeah, that was it. So yeah, that was good and stuff. It was alright show and stuff. Not too bad, but I don't know. Anyways, it was kind of good and stuff. So yeah, crazy. It's funny how Pat McAfee got a little scared of Cody Rhodes during that segment and stuff. So yeah, and poor R-Truth, man. I feel bad for him, every time. But he's funny as hell. So yeah, that was it for this. That was it, and yeah. So like and subscribe, favorite or whatever. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And not, I don't care. But anyways, that was it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.